This week, floods, floods and more floods. All government business has been put on hold while ministers have tried to work out how best to respond to the crisis. It started badly for the government when stand-in Floods Minister Eric Pickles used a weekend TV interview to put the boot into the Environment Agency and its boss, Labour peer Chris Smith, blaming them for giving the government bad advice over dredging. Smith immediately cried foul, said his team had been stopped from doing more by the government's own spending cuts, and said they knew 100 times more than any other minister about the problem. Meanwhile, the real Floods Minister, Owen Paterson, who's in his sickbed recovering from an eye operation, was so fed up with Pickles' ham-fisted operation, he complained to the Prime Minister. Cameron duly banged heads together, put Pickles back in his box, where he remains, and told everyone to shut up, which they did. Meanwhile, as residents and businesses struggled to cope with the crisis as it edged closer and closer to the capital, David Cameron and other politicians decided they should be out there showing solidarity with the suffering masses. The Prime Minister realised there was a real danger of the government's response looking chaotic, confused and late, so he took personal control. Always a sign of panic in Number 10. He put on his wellies and told people he was there to ensure everything that could be done would be done, which is what they thought should have been happening all along. He even held his first proper press conference for 238 days and told the assembled media, money will be no object in the government's response. Except, apparently, it's not the same thing as a blank cheque. There will be none of those. Labour leader Ed Miliband called the Prime Minister out during Prime Minister's questions in the Commons to try and explain the confusion.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Prime Minister for that answer. Now, one of the reassurances he provided yesterday, as he said in an earlier answer, was to say money was no object. But this morning, the Transport Secretary said it's not a blank cheque. Can he tell the House exactly what areas of spending yesterday's promise covers?
Well, I was very clear last night, and let me repeat again. As I said last night, money is no object in this relief effort. I want communities who are suffering and people who see water lapping at their doors to know that when it comes to the military, when it comes to sandbags, when it comes to the emergency services, when it comes to restoring broken flood defences, all of those things, money is no object.
And that's it for this week. To keep up with all the political news from Westminster, go to our website, ibtimes.co.uk.